Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nuuli Forged. We are here to play some homebrew D&D 5th edition. Shout out to Kiwi Sanctuary. Thank you for the follow. Saw you come into the portal just a few moments ago. Welcome to Nuuli. We're going to go around and introduce each other real quick. We're all dressed up in, well, mostly all dressed up in funny, silly costumes of varieties. I am Jared. I am your dungeon master. I
don't know if it's better
Bowser.
without the headphones, but it is what it is.
And let's start off with Spoot over there.
Is Jared muted on purpose?
Nope, it's just you.
Just you.
Really?
Yep, it's just you that's failed.
Oh, I muted the DM. No, that's funny.
That is funny. But why don't you start us off, Mr. Matt? Introduce yourself, your character, your costume, and I would love to know what your character's favorite Halloween candy would be.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Spoot, a Turtle Cleric. The Turtle Cleric. Sorry, he's the only one. And
Ever.
It's true. Look it up. I am a ninja. It's my Halloween costume, as is apparent. The headphones are probably causing some confusion. It's not part of the costume. Spoot's favorite Halloween candy would be fish.
Swedish fish or just fish?
Just fish.
All right. I like consistency. Moving down in our little screen here, we got Tanner.
Hi, I'm Tanner. I'm playing Aetis. Sorry, I don't have a costume. I got in from work 5 minutes ago.
Totally okay.
Long days. Woo.
Yep.
For the candy, I don't even really eat candy. Jawbreakers.
Fair enough. And Sarah.
Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm playing Kaerlie, the half-elf druid, and I'm also playing Kaerlie this evening. And I think Kaerlie's favorite Halloween candy is probably the Biddo honey.
Oh, nice. I like that. Amber, why don't you give us a shot?
Hello, I'm Amber. I play Grrrig, the Goblin Artificer. And are there types of candy? Because I like it sweet. I like it all. And then I had a stomach ache. And my costume, obviously.
Don't tell them.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yes.
The first part.
Anyone who guesses Grrrig or Amber's costume in the chat wins a free subscription to our YouTube channel. So get on that for that prize. Moving up to what appears to be something jumping out of a humanoid body. Mike, maybe?
That it is. Hello, everyone. Mike here. I play Defect, the Warforged Barbarian. And today I am dressed up as Space Marine Fail. I have a little alien chest burster here. And as for Halloween candy, Defect would go with Sour Patch Kids, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I dig it, though.
Into the notion of the whole first he's sweet, then he's sour.
Very cool, very cool. Well, all that fun stuff out of the way, let's dive into where we left off, shall we? On our last episode, our adventurers successfully defeated their third and final Yuan-Ti Malison, harvesting the third heart for the High Enclavist, leader of a hidden enclave of self-proclaimed guardians, as payment for the resurrection of Kaerlie. Per the deal they made, they had a timeline of 10 days that was given to them to achieve this objective, before Kaerlie's renewed life would disappear and the others would begin to fall sick. Using documents and maps that they recovered from a resupply cavern, they made their way safely back to the lands of the Hidden Enclave, rendezvousing near the border with Elithar, the Elven Scout Commander, and venturing back to the Enclave itself with but a day to spare. Once there, the High Enclavist welcomed them as friends and allies, and invited them to participate in a feast that would be held that evening. During the feast, the High Enclavist conveyed to the group that the 3 hearts they procured were vital to a ritual that would reconnect them with their greatest protector, the Pulse of the World. At the high point of the feast, the High Enclavist and 2 of their apprentices began this ritual that ultimately concluded with the opening of some sort of strange portal within an ancient gateway. As the High Enclavist turns back to their village and issues a declaration of triumph, there are cheers and loud clapping and beating of drums. That is where we pick up our story. All of you are still on the table, on the raised dais. That has been where you ate during the feast and kind of had a chat with the High Enclavist and the High Priestess. And you have now seen this portal seemingly opened up. What's going through your mind, and what would you like to do?
Does this look like something I would have seen before?
This looks like portals that you have seen before. You've seen things like this before, but you have never seen one opened in this way, in this fashion.
Is anything coming out? Grrrig is really worried about something.
So far,
Nothing
nothing
come out?
has emerged. No one has gone in, nothing has come out. Everyone is just celebrating, and the High Enclavist is apparently in the process of thanking their assistants and, kind of doing the handshake, kiss a baby moment around the village.
So everyone's just ignoring the fact that there's an open portal in the middle of the room?
Well, it's outside. It's off to the side of the main gathering square, but everybody knows that it's happened, and everybody
Sure.
seems really excited about it.
If anybody's really ignoring it, I'm apprehensive.
Yeah, you can make a general insight check if
I'm a
you
little
want.
concerned.
Yeah, go for it. Make a general little insight check.
Aetis, have you seen something like this before?
Apparently I haven't seen shit before.
It looks familiar to some other stuff. This isn't quite like how when I opened the last portal. Isn't quite like that.
Well, that's good, right?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but can you tell how they did it? Did the hearts just feed the thing? Is it because they were,
I honestly, I have no idea, and I could try to sense more about the portal, but I think I kind of want it to maybe manifest a little bit more just so I can get a better grasp.
What does the opening to the portal look like? I mean, I know the stone bits, but what does the void look like?
Right. So as you kind of look around the crowd, none of you get any sense of trepidation or worry about this portal from the crowd. Your eyes immediately are drawn back towards the portal itself, and it appears just to be translucent, but with a slight shimmery effect. It's not another color. It doesn't appear to be swirling or violent. It just appears to be as though it's almost a beaded curtain kind of texture that you can see through, and it's just kind of undulating benignly as far as you can tell. Imagine a mirage on the desert, and it's that sort of a similar visual.
I'm gonna go to one of the closest stone thing and look at it. Is it glowing? Is that did they really put the heart in thing?
In the archway?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go check out that. Nobody stops you.
Grrrig, be careful. The last thing you touched wasn't great either.
Not touching. I'm not touching. But we gotta look at it, right? Like you can't tell from here. You gotta do the thing. And
Yeah.
but I'm gonna. Shh.
Yeah. So the carvings that were inscribed around it that you looked at previously on your last visit to town, all of those are glowing a little bit. And the heart, or where you believe the heart was placed, has now like closed up. That area of stone, like another piece of stone or something, like is now there, almost as though the compartment has been sealed and closed.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Has the portal manifested a little bit further?
I'm sorry?
Has the portal manifested a little bit further?
The portal seems to be complete. The general atmosphere around you is one of success and completion, and the High Enclavist seems very happy with themselves.
All right, then I'm going to use my portal sense.
All right. Now, what information exactly does your portal sense give you?
You gain the ability to magically sense the presence of a planar portal.
We can all sense the portal at this point.
As an action, you detect the distance and direction of the closest portal within 1 mile of you. There was another thing once that I could tell where it's going, but it's not saying it.
Okay. Well,
Anyway, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry?
I think that detecting where it goes might have been UA. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Well, this portal, you can definitely sense it. It's registering on you. It is registering as a portal to another plane. And your sense is telling you it's about 120 feet away from you.
Yeah, guys, that's definitely a portal. I don't know where it's going, though.
Thanks, Aetis.
You're welcome. Kaerlie, go touch it.
No.
What is the priestess lady about?
Okay. So, while most everyone seems to have been clapping and celebrating very loudly, you all do notice, because you're at the table with her, that the High Priestess has been clapping and oh yeah, great, but doesn't seem as enthused as everybody else. She seems much more reserved, and it's more of a polite clap, oh, good job, you got an A on your math test kind of deal.
Okay. Hey, so, forgot your name again. Amber did. Maybe Grrrig wouldn't. But, can you, I know that this isn't your, thing, but, what, you seem, everyone's really happy, and you don't seem so happy. Can you tell me what is going on here?
Yeah, her name is Sala, by the way.
Sala. Thanks.
Yeah,
Hi,
High Priestess Sala.
And I'm High Priestess Lady. Hi.
Hello, Grrrig. I'm sorry, I forgot your question. I missed it. It's kind of loud, but...
Yeah, no, everyone's really happy about this. And last time we saw a portal open, it was not a good thing. And also, you do not seem so excited about this. Can you tell me why?
Oh, it's just... I don't put my faith in folklore and fairy tales. I put my faith in Elona, for she is the true god. While I would never tell anyone what to believe, everyone here kind of views the pulse of the world as a mythic protector and a legendary, sort of... Oh, how would I liken it to? A fairy godmother, perhaps? It's just not my personal belief system, so... I know there is a higher power that watches out for me.
Okay. What is the myth? Exactly. If it's a fairy godmother, is it a person? Or is it an idea? Have there ever been a physical manifestation of this pulse of the world?
Well, there is a largely told legend in the village. Once, before the breaking, the original members of our Enclave were scattered all over the place, from different parts of the world, the continent. But when the breaking occurred and the spellstorms began, the pulse seeking to protect some semblance of those who lived here and of life itself, pulled everyone to this place and created this enclave as a measure of safety. However, in doing so, the pulse's gateway was destroyed. So we have lived here for almost 1,000 years, using the pulse as a way to feel better about ourselves. I do not know if such things are actually true. I am only 212 myself, so.
Right.
But there is a prophecy that has been repeated ad nauseum for many years. If you believe in such things as prophecy, which admittedly I do, but how much it relates to the pulse of the world is debatable. How does it go? When the lands grow still and the oceans calm, the storms will rise and ruin will run. From the driest of seabeds will the end times grow. Very vague, isn't it? But there were spell storms for about 1,000 years, so...
Driest of seabed. The what will grow?
The storms will rise and the ruin will run. From the driest of seabeds will the end times grow.
The end times. I thought that was what you said, and that doesn't that sound like a bad thing?
Oh, absolutely, yes. But whether or not the pulse of the world is meant to be our protector or our defender or our fighter or what, I don't know.
Or the cause of all this?
Oh no. If the pulse of the world actually exists, I do not believe it to be a malicious entity.
Okay. Aetis, have you ever heard of this? And then I repeat the prophecy. When the land grows still, and the oceans calm, the storms will rise and ruin will run. From the driest of seabeds, the end times will grow. You're old.
Excuse
You know this?
Have I heard of that before?
You've never heard this prophecy before in your life.
No. Maybe the prophecy came after my time.
Yeah.
Just a random question. Is it anything Spoot might have heard?
You can make either a religion or history check as you choose.
Aha!
That
was my best shot.
No.
You have not heard of such a prophecy before.
It was my best shot.
Yeah. Well, okay. What else is going on?
Everyone around you is, still celebrating, and the High Enclavist is smiling at people who, rush up to her.
Her?
Or, sorry, the High Priestess is smiling at people who rush up to her. The High Enclavist is still kind of, just hanging out with people. They seem quite content with what is going on.
I'm gonna go over to the High Enclavist.
I was just gonna say, can I talk to the High Enclavist?
Oh yeah, you can definitely approach the High Enclavist. They are...
Me, I want to talk to the High Enclavist.
Yeah, they smile. They're making their way back towards the dais anyway, so... Yeah, so they get up there. And they're smiling, and they're like, thank you, my friends, for the help you have done us today.
It's a very nice portal you've got there.
Oh, thanks. I've never seen it before in my life.
Isn't that at all disconcerting to you? Because, portals lead to many different places.
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
Is it just going to sit open now for the foreseeable future?
Yes, through this, the powers of the of the pulse of the world will be able to help aid us and protect our lands, and be on the lookout for any troublesome things that might occur.
You said it's going to help Aetis. How is it going to help Aetis?
Well, its powers will surely protect us.
Us, not Aetis. Oh, us. I see.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember being promised god powers, but hey.
I was about to ask you a lot of questions, Aetis.
I didn't think he'd been singled out in any particular way.
I must know, however, how does our blood play a part in all of this now?
Oh, in the portal, you mean?
Yes, in general. Is there any reason to keep it? I would rather
Well, to be
it not
perfectly
stay behind.
well, to be perfectly honest, it had nothing to do with the portal whatsoever.
Of course, just our little oath we took, yes?
Yes, we should probably talk of such things not in public.
Can we just get rid of it?
Well, follow me. And they kind of like grab the vials and kind of motion towards you. Everyone is still celebrating around you, and like people are getting excited because apparently like dessert's about to be served, some like celebratory thing.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna snag a drink off that tray that just passed.
Yeah, totally. And they kind of go into like a little office building, for lack of a better term.
The office cave.
It's not a cave; it's a structure, but it's like their office. So it's the town hall.
Spinny chair.
Great. Yeah, you all sit down. They kind of lean on a desk that they have. They put the vials kind of right next to them. The floor is just like stone, bare swept. You know, it's nothing too fancy. Well, so you have some concerns about these vials of blood, I take it.
Yeah, I believe that's
well,
kind of understandable.
Well, the good news is, and they pick them up, and they kind of smile. The good news is that they never mattered, and they just throw the rack of vials over their shoulder, and they smash on the ground.
Okay.
To be quite honest, it's a very large investment and pricey thing that we did for you, and we needed to make sure you'd come back with what we needed, so...
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
I apologize for the deception, but...
Not a good way to make friends, guy.
Well, to be fair, we didn't have to try to bring your friend back at all.
He's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, for
so
that,
why
by the
not
way.
just assume that we'd be like grateful and actually do a thing for you instead of trying to blackmail us? That's just
On
rude.
the whole...
You think I know that?
Guys! Hey, I'm here.
Yes, and on the whole, we do
Everything's
not
fine.
do much for outsiders or with outsiders. We have survived by being separate from everybody else.
No harm,
So-
no foul. Everything's cool here, guys.
Sure.
But
I suppose-
maybe get a bucket of water to throw over the giant mess you just made.
Can't you create water?
Oh, I'm sure it will be fine. Just clean itself up.
No, I lost the.
That's
create
not how
water
things
bit.
work, dude. People have to clean it up.
Are you sure?
I'm going to assume that there's a fire source in here and I can light it on fire.
Go ahead. Everybody can give me a perception check, actually.
This is the weirdest conversation.
5.
With a nat
21.
Mm-hmm.
Nat 20 opposite, yeah.
Okay, great. So everybody except for Grrrig, funnily enough, kind of sees the High Enclavist wiggle their fingers a little bit, and the pool of, like, you know, goopy dried blood and smashed glass and vials just kind of cleans itself up and disappears.
Teach me that
How'd
trick,
you do that?
Candy.
Oh,
Ears, huh?
it is just a simple bit of magic I've picked up over the years. Nothing to be excited about.
Is there any way I could? Is there any way I
Where did-
could try to figure out what spell that was? I don't know if there's a roll for that.
Make an Arcana check.
That would
Me
be that would
too.
make no sense.
I didn't see him do it, but
You did not see them do it, no. But Spoot, with a natural 20,
Whoa.
you have heard of this ability before from your books and studies on things arcane and wizards and sorcerers and various other sorts of magical folk. You're pretty sure that they just used what is called prestidigitation.
I thought.
Press
Cool. I'll tell you later.
It's a fancy card trick.
It's honestly one of my favorite spells.
Yeah, they are like, they seem to be in a different sort of mood now that the portal has been opened and everything's hunky-dory. And they seem very content with themselves.
Well, if everything is hunky-dory, should we get back to the festivities for tonight, perhaps, and maybe plan our departure tomorrow? I
I'd
don't want to
still like to
overstay.
send a flame over that area.
Sanitization.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of get a little bit of torchlight fire off, and it kind of just... The High Enclavist kind of watches you, and they, like, watch you, and they just kind of make sure you don't burn anything else. And they kind of shrug, and they're like, understandable.
Be too careful.
Of course, I do want to assure you there is no malicious intent here. We have talked about individuals you might want to meet later on. You are welcome to stay for some amount of time if you wish. Or you can depart in the morning. It is entirely up to you. But indeed, for the rest of the evening, by all means, enjoy the festivities. I believe dessert is about to be served. And I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Could
Let's go have dessert.
Yeah, as everyone leaves, could Spoot just pull the Enclavist aside and say, I don't want to make you late for dessert, certainly, but I would like a private word with you, if possible, when you have a moment.
Oh, well, you and I are here now, friend Spoot. Speak ahead.
I kind of look over my shoulder and just make sure that the others are leaving.
Grrrig is
Not trying-
glaring.
Not trying to make a big deal.
Yeah, the rest of you see Spoot having a quiet word with the Enclavist on your way out.
Are you aware of any undead creatures that might be living in the land of the Yuan-Ti?
Oh, well, there are reports of some creatures that they have used, serpentine in body, skeletal creatures.
Yeah, that sounds like something that one might find out there. I have reason to believe that there may have been one in that land for quite some time. I mean, a very old entity. I just didn't know if you had any knowledge of the sort.
Well, perhaps. Do you have a name?
I look through my notes to see if I wrote down a name, and in the haste of Spoot trying to save all of his friends, he
So
didn't write it down.
I will tell you, the name that you heard was Shuzaxa.
Shuzaxa. I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, but at the moment I couldn't find my.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will tell him the name. Shuzaxa. Does that name mean anything?
Ah, yes. Shuzaxa has been...
Found it.
Great. Shuzaxa has been a plague for hundreds of years.
What kind of when you say plague?
Well, according to the information that we have gathered, and they kind of go over to a shelf and pull an old folio kind of off the shelf and open it up on their desk. Yes, indeed. According to our information, Shuzaxa was once a true Naga of some sort.
Mm.
And and normally such creatures, they... Well, normally when they are destroyed, they resurrect themselves through magical means, for they are generally a divine entity.
Oh,
And as
I
a
see.
celestial, they can restore themselves to life. However, if that process is corrupted or interrupted or denied, there are ways to transmute the Naga into a much more terrifying undead creature, which serves whatever cast or disrupted their resurrection. It is believed that Shuzaksa was such a creature, and we believe the Yuan-Ti disrupted the ritual and used them as a guardian for hundreds of years. However, something strange began to happen after Shuzaksa was killed by a band of warriors. When it returned to its undead state, it appeared to gain a bit of sentience of its old life. It stayed within the waste, but it abandoned its posts and has become a thorn in the side of any traveler, any adventurer, any Yuan-Ti it discovers. It has its own agendas. For what, we don't know.
Well, thank you. Do you mind if I have a moment with this tome? I'd like to peruse it, but you go ahead. I don't want to make you any more late to dessert than you already are. Thank you.
Well, it's mostly just recounts of encounters with Shuzaksa, but by all means, you may look. There's nothing privileged in there.
Thank you.
Of course. If you encountered this entity, I would love for you to add to this information.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Where might I find a pen if I were so inclined?
They indicate their desk and the quill and ink bottle and blank pieces of parchment that are there.
You're
Okay.
not carrying ink in a quill, Spoot?
I do not. At least not yet.
How do you write in your journal?
That's a good point.
He
I
doesn't
do.
want-
To make sure
I just don't want to use my own. I have
Fancy
limited
book.
quantities.
It's
Yeah.
fine. You're at a you're at a party. You didn't bring your backpack to the party. It's okay.
That's exactly. Thank you. Thank you. It's not my. Never mind. Okay. Well, that's all I'm gonna say to the Enclavist. I'm gonna look pretty concerned. Well, not concerned, but
Yeah. They leave, and you are alone in the office with this folio of stuff.
cool. I would like to peruse as such for as long as I have time.
Yeah, go ahead. Just give me an investigation check. See how much you absorb.
Oof, that is not my best roll, but we'll see what happens.
I'm going to say you have advantage because you're taking time and, like, you've been given permission and all this stuff.
Perfect.
That doesn't help him.
Okay, great. With a 16, you discover that it is mostly accounts of people encountering it, having fought it to varying degrees of success. There are a few notes very early on, shortly after whatever this band of warriors was that killed it, that anytime it encountered someone who was either like a lizard folk or a turtle or reptilian looking that was not a Yuan-Ti, it became extremely aggressive. And various notes claim that it was always searching for something.
Mm-hmm. Wonder what that was.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, none of the accounts seem to be able to indicate exactly what it is, because later on, the accounts where the creature seems to have regained part of its identity, it would interact with those who got in its way, but if you weren't doing anything, it didn't seem interested in them. By all accounts, this creature knows when you're around it, whenever anyone is around it. But when something approached it and it didn't have any interest in those people, it just left. So it seemed that it's always on the hunt for something.
Okay. Nothing in there about possible weaknesses, how to defeat it.
A few people note that, magic seemed to hurt it a lot.
All right.
But maybe
nothing-
don't try to
but
convert
nothing
it to your
specific.
religion.
I'm gonna debate hard and heavy on whether I'm adding an entry into this book or not.
Just tiny in the binding somewhere, just draw a dick.
That's not Spoot's way.
Honor the traveler.
No, it's not. Are there any sketches of it in the book, perchance?
There are, yeah.
Okay.
It is much as it looked before, a skeletal serpentine body with just a humanoid-looking head.
Okay. No, I was just curious. I was gonna add a depiction of it myself if there were not.
None of them are exceedingly great, but you're a pretty good sketcher. You might be able to add a better one.
I'll give it a shot. I'll add a quick blurb about our encounter, and I'll sketch.
Yeah, no problem. You draw a little sketch in there. Everything's groovy. You add a little account, no problem.
I may say, for the purpose of not hogging all of the role-playing time, I'll probably stay in there a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, all this takes you time to read through and do and add and whatever. In the meantime,
What's that?
what are the rest of you up to?
I said tell them to watch out for lightning bolts.
Here, really.
Funnily enough, there are notes about that in there.
Just
Only we had grabbed that tome before we left.
throw like a couple asterisks around the lightning bolts.
Important. Read.
Super important. Don't try to convert it to your religion.
Well, that's not exactly what I was doing, but
I'll
Close
just
enough.
find a tree and just start playing my flute again.
Okay.
I'm going back to the party for dessert.
Yeah, the dessert is
I'm
very
interested
tasty.
I'm interested in the flow of people. Are people walking near this portal, or are they generally giving it a wide berth?
Well, the portal is kind of in its own area. It's not like smack dab in the middle of the thoroughfare. It was kind of off to one side. And when it was ruins, just these ruined pieces, people like didn't avoid it, but they walked around it like respectfully. People are still maintaining that distance, but nobody is like running up to it and touching it. A couple of the little kids are running close to it, but they're called back, and their parents are like, don't go in there. And they scamper back.
Grrrig will have piled up a huge plate of dessert. Sugar is fascinating stuff. And be sitting staring at the portal, eating. Like,
Great.
not even looking at the plate, just like watching it.
Yeah, the dessert is pretty tasty. It's a bunch of like a cinnamon dough kind of pastry with like nuts and stuff in it. And then there's a like chilled goat's milk sorbet type thing that has been flavored with berries and is very pleasing.
Ooh.
2 of each.
Yeah, I mean, they're just on trays and like, you know, you can go up and get what you want. It's fine.
Grrrig just took entire platters to herself.
Nobody stops them, so.
It's a party.
Got a platter.
Yeah.
And I'm watching.
And there's plenty of
watching the hell
like
out of that portal.
a sort of an elven wine and mead kind of going all over the place. So it's a party still.
Are you feeding chompers?
Chopper doesn't eat. That would just muck up the gears and things. You don't want that. And then it would be spitting bits of dough out instead of the flame. Of course. No.
That'd actually be really funny. Hardened dough balls doing force damage.
Grrrig and Kaerlie, go ahead and give me a couple of perception checks.
Nat 1.
All right. Yeah, Grrrig, even though you are like looking at the portal, you're not noticing too much because you are, you know, eating a plate of sweets and drinking whatever you're drinking. Kaerlie, you notice Elithar hanging around, happily conversing with people. Most notably, he is conversing with Hearth and Jorn, who are his 2 like scouts that he works with. And there is a a halfling female who he is talking to. She appears very old for a halfling. Lots of wrinkles and lots of smile lines, kind of gray and white streaked hair that's all kind of like wild and out there. And very happily plump, she seems to be.
Oh, I'm going to grab a dessert and a drink and join their conversation.
Yeah, you approach and Elithar smiles. Ah, hello, Kaerlie. Ah, it's certainly a party, isn't it?
Sure is. It sure is. It's a lovely portal you've got there.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, I suppose. I've never seen another one, but it's nice to know that, you know, some things are true.
It's not as nice as my portal, but...
Nothing scary has come out of this one, which makes it nicer.
Oh, no, I don't think the High Enclavist would put the Enclave in danger at all. So. Besides, between you and me, I'm much more worried about what comes out of the wastes than old folklore.
One of my companions managed to open a portal to somewhere really scary in the recent past, so we're a little on edge about that sort of thing.
Oh, well, I can certainly understand how that kind of trauma would be difficult. At which point the older halfling woman just kind of like smacks him in the hip. Ah, you don't know anything about portals. Back in my day, there were portals everywhere. This is nothing. There used to be whole herds of people who did portal stuff. I don't know. I never met them. I was a kid. But still.
Also,
She seems to be quite in her cups.
Fetch her a fresh drink.
her and Tanner would be great friends.
Quite probably.
I'm going to fetch her a fresh drink and listen to what else she might have to say.
Yeah. She takes it. Oh, thank you, dearie. And she kind of like drinks a bit of it. Ah, so you're one of the ones who got the heart. Yeah, very impressive.
It's true. I'm the formerly dead one.
Ah, yes, death, natural end of things. But hey, whatever. When you've been around as long as I have, it's about all you got left.
Yes, well, I hope to be around that long.
Well, I hope you would too. You seem to be the type who could, actually.
I certainly hope so. Recent events notwithstanding.
Oh, sure. If you go out looking for trouble, there's no telling what might happen.
But
it does
yes,
seem that you are, well, not to be rude, but not only are you half-elven, but you seem to be rather druidic from your markings.
That is true. I was raised in the Temple of the Forest, a bit north of here. Quite a bit north of here, frankly. But yes, I was born and raised in the Temple of the Forest.
Huh. Interesting. Never heard of it. But very cool.
It's pretty far away from here. I've traveled quite a ways.
Yes. Well, my name is Una Rosebrush, and I have been here since I was a child.
Seems like a lovely place to spend one's life.
Well, I didn't always live here, but when the breaking happened, I was but a wee child, and I was one of the lucky ones who was called here.
Oh, so you remember the breaking?
Well, as one remembers anything from childhood, it's not... I mean, to be honest, my childhood was a long time ago.
That is fair.
I mean, you don't get hair like this from being a young woman anymore.
I'm nonetheless interested in any stories you might have.
Well, you're going to have to narrow it down, dear.
I would be interested in anything you remember from your childhood, from your calling and arrival here.
Well, when I say child, I mean I was probably only about 5 or so. I just remember being on a wagon with my parents, and the wagon being overturned, and the sky being all sorts of angry colors, and strange lightnings, and something gathered us up in some form of wind or portal, and poof, we were here. It's not that exciting, I'm afraid.
That's very fortunate indeed, though.
Indeed, yes. My father was, well, my father studied magic in his time, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Very good. And I assume you've been happy here?
Oh, yes. I've had quite a life here. Thankfully, my children and my grandchildren have been around, and now my great-grandchildren are still here, so that's nice.
Excellent.
I do
You
miss
must be
the
very
rest of
proud
my
them.
family, but, you know, curse of good genes, I suppose.
Very good. You must be very proud of them, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. They are all of, well, 4 of my grandsons, my great-grandsons, are herders and gatherers, and my 3 great-granddaughters are a potter, a blacksmith, and a scribe.
Excellent.
Yes, they all do their bit for the village, and what more could one ask, I suppose? Would have been nice if one of them had followed in my footsteps, but my daughter did. Unfortunately, she befell an accident from some UNT many years ago.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, thank you, but it was a long time ago.
What was your life's work?
Well, believe it or not, I teach herbalism and healing here. Have for years.
That's something I would like to learn a great deal more about.
Well, if you've got a few years, I'm happy to teach you everything I know.
Well, I'll have to confer with the other members of my party. I don't know where we are headed from here, but whatever time you have to spare, I would be happy to learn whatever you think of the essentials.
Oh, well, just come to Rosebrush Hollow whenever you're ready. And she gives you directions and kind of points down the lane over there on the left, about halfway to the rock wall.
Well, thank you very much. Can I get you another drink?
Oh, I've already had 6. I should slow down, but it's a party, right?
It sure is. Here you go.
Oh, thank you, Jorn. You should really be more sociable and lighten up a little bit. And Jorn's just kind of, yeah, okay, you know. Sure, I get it. You all remember Jorn as or Kaerlie, you remember Jorn as the more, like, taciturn of Elethar's friends, the one who was more, like, smart alecky. He's the one who went and met Mies for you.
Ah, very good.
So Kaerlie is off having this conversation. What is Defect up to?
The whole time Defect is standing next to Grrrig. Also just surveying the party, watching Grrrig eat all this dessert and food.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
Very cool.
Just don't eat the good berry when you're done eating all of that.
Ugh.
No.
No, thank you.
So Defect, you can go ahead and give me a perception check then. See if you notice anything fun in the party.
All right.
Okay. With a 10, you just see a bunch of people doing weird things, eating, drinking. You understand why they do these things, but not in this context. Like, you've seen your friends eat for nourishment, but all these foods and this amount of imbibing and indulgence is unknown to you.
Gotcha.
Aetis, you are playing your flute next to a tree, and you've attracted quite a few people. There's some who are kind of clapping, and a couple kids again are like dancing around your feet.
I'll just keep going.
After about 40 minutes or so, an elven woman kind of picks up a flute and begins matching the song with you and kind of playing along. And in a weird way, she seems to know the song as intrinsically as you do.
I'll keep playing, and then like when the song ends, can I like try to talk to her a little bit?
Of course. Yeah, she smiles and at the end of the song, and she bows and says, "Thanks for letting me join in. It's very rare that I get to do so."
Where'd you learn that music?
Oh, it's been passed down my family for generations, actually.
Where is your family from?
Well, my great-grandfather used to roam all over the place back before the breaking. And ever since he arrived here, we've lived here.
Did he ever mention the Everwood?
Oh, well, he may have. He talks a lot about a lot of things, but his mind is not what it once was. He's exceptionally old.
Oh, I mean, that music comes from the Feywilds.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh. Strange. We've just always been told it's a lullaby. We didn't know it had Fey origins. That's very interesting. How do you know so much about it?
I grew up in the Everwood, which is now, as far as I know, under the ocean from the breaking, but my village kind of bordered a entrance to the Feywilds, so we had many interactions growing up with them.
Ah, I see. Very interesting. I mean, if you want, you can attempt to talk to great-grandfather, but he's probably asleep by this time of evening.
I mean, I believe we're staying the night, so I'd love to talk to him in the morning, if that's a better time.
Yes. I will be tending to him in the morning, so by all means, stop on by.
Where do you live?
Oh, we live in that house over there, and you can see she points to a little house that has definitely elvish influenced architecture. It's a lot more flowy and fluid than structural. But yes, my name is Kilara.
I'm Aetis.
It's wonderful to meet you. I'm sure Felinar will be very happy to see you.
I mean, if he has possibly seen my homeland, it'd be nice to speak to somebody like that too.
Well, I hope he is capable of doing so.
Maybe. I mean, it's worth a shot, but I won't keep you. Enjoy the festivities.
You as well. And she goes off on whatever errand she's going to go do. The party is starting to wind down. Spoot, you probably come out of the Enclave's office by this point.
Yeah, I'll wander out, see if there's any dessert to snag before it all disappears.
Yeah, there's a few pieces left. They're not like the most attractive looking pieces of dessert because, you know, it's been like buffet table style and people have been grabbing various things over the course. But yeah, there's still some left.
As far as I know, turtles are not very picky, so...
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining like Spoot walks over, Grrrig is like on their back with like with like a food baby.
No. Hunched over the table, still staring at the portal.
Yeah, and for all that staring, nothing's come out of it.
Nothing.
Nope.
sidle a little closer to it without being super obvious about it, but just kind of, looking at it, trying to see if I can see through the archway at all, and while I'm being sociable and talking to people.
Sure, make a perception check.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, you look through it and you see what's on the other side of the portal. It's not a different place. It's just the other side of the, like the central area of the parade grounds. Like the house that's on the other side, you see it. Just if you look at it through the archway, it's got like waves and shimmers in front of it.
Not getting too close. I'm just,
Yeah, everyone is maintaining the same distance they always kind of maintained out of like reverence for it. But no one is like rushing through it or anything.
I push Kaerlie through the portal.
Do you?
No.
It's like, great. I was preparing for this.
Yeah.
I could resist that to some extent.
I start to push and then I yank back. Save your life.
I'm going to pour the remainder of my drink over Aetis' head.
And Spoot, this is what you walk back in on.
Grrrig is going to laugh.
Spoot has a moment where he's like, should I just go back and read another book?
Does Grrrig fall over from their chair?
Maybe.
It's quite possible.
I feel like that'd be
Like kicking and giggling.
Whom am I nearest?
You'd probably be nearest Aetis.
Ah, okay.
Who's
I'm
a
just
little
gonna-
down now.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of tap Aetis on the shoulder and say, have I missed a lot?
Not really.
How much drinking has there been with the desserts?
I haven't indulged any in either.
Well, maybe that's what Kaerlie was trying to help you with.
Maybe. But she smudged my guy liner, so I gotta go put it back.
I think I have a mirror back here. It's just in this bag with my pins.
Hold on one second.
It's like muddy. It's caked with mud. There you go.
Maybe some fish.
It's the inside of an oyster shell. That's all.
I'll go use the water, the pond. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think I'm about ready to turn in.
Yeah, totally.
I guess
Grrrig will have fallen asleep on the ground.
Yeah,
fallen out of
the party is
laughing
definitely
and
winding
falling.
down by this point in the evening.
Grrrig
Yeah.
sleep on the dessert platters.
No. On the ground. I laughed so hard that I fell, and then I was like, oh, this is comfy.
Can I just gently like scoop Grrrig up and just carry them back to our little abode?
Sure, you can
Do I need to roll a sleight of hand so I don't wake them as I?
no, but you can totally gig jump Defect. That's totally okay.
I
So
know,
sad.
right?
Definitely expected Defect to do that, but sure.
Oh no, I'll wait. I'll see what Defect's first reaction is. Sorry, Defect.
What are you doing, Defect?
I will scoop up Grrrig.
Great. You scoop up Grrrig. They are in your gigantic ass arms, and you all
Arms.
and you all head towards the quarters that were prepared for you. And unless you want to do anything directly before bed, you go to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
I wash the alcohol out of my clothing.
Hey, Aetis, give me a performance check.
For what?
I'm sorry, perception check.
For laundry.
Okay.
I was going for a flash dance moment. No? Okay.
Okay. You said perception?
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you go out to like the trough of water or the barrel of water that's like collected from the rain outside and just kind of dunk your kind of splash and kind of clean your clothes off a little bit to get the booze smell out. Seems okay.
I sniff my wet clothing.
It smells like wet clothing.
I don't trust you.
Okay, that's fine.
Maybe you should work
don't-
on your perception then.
If only you had prestidigitation,
That's the disintegration.
you could clean your clothes without water.
Spoot has been imbibing, so.
It what?
Great. So you all.
I'll
you
take
all...
Wizard Initiate next time.
Fantastic. You all get into your various beds. Defect goes into standby shutdown mode. Spoot, do you sleep on the bed or do you pull into your shell? What do you do tonight?
Shell.
All right, you into the shell. Everyone else gets into the bed. Grrrig makes a little... Well, Grigg's already passed out, so they're just put on a bed. And you all...
sleep, Grrrig will like roll up in a little ball.
I love it.
Chase things in your sleep.
I was gonna say, are you like a dog when they're dreaming and just like
Yeah, yeah, just like pulling blanket into a little pile. But still
Wonderful. I love it. All right.
after everybody falls asleep though, Aetis like will kind of like pull that necklace out and kind of hold it towards the portal a little bit, like in the direction of it, not like, and just see if it does anything.
Yeah, so the necklace sits in your hand, doesn't move, doesn't get warm, and you start to nod off, and you put the necklace back under your clothing, and you pass out with thoughts about the necklace. As you sleep, Spoot, you find yourself young again, listening to a story you've heard before. You see the old turtle named Polt is telling a story. And so, the 4 warriors fought the monster, a massive serpent of bone and magic. 2 warriors, Clork and Sproul, fell to the creature. Only Trone and Quig survived. But they were victorious, and each took a bone of the monster to remember their friends and the battle they fought. And as you turn to say something to your friend, you see there isn't a turtle sitting next to you. There's a middle-aged human male with a long brown beard, and he's smiling, and gone is the campfire, and gone is the distant memory you were reliving. The human male nods to you and smiles, and reaches out and pats you on the shoulder. And you are no longer a child, but your adult self. A silver-skinned humanoid woman steps into your view and smiles, and as you glance at her smile and glance back to the man is gone. But she smiles at you. He likes you, you know, Spoot. You have already gone places most would never dare. You greet the horizon openly every day, even in the face of danger, and we've been listening. We know that so often danger lies beyond the edge of one's vision. But with that danger comes knowledge, as you've found out. Look at all you have learned. More than was ever written in the books you studied so avidly. And I understand you've had a harrowing journey recently. But do not fear the journey. Do not fear the end. There is much to learn in your life, And she sort of turns off to one side, and you turn to match her gaze, or look in the same direction as her, I should say. And you see a vast expanse of desert before you. I sense trouble in the south of your world. It has not stopped. I fear the trouble it will bring to your plane. And all the questions that you have rise up to your surface, and you turn to look at her again to ask these questions. But she's gone. And you see nothing but sunrise over a distant horizon of sand and emptiness. Aetis. As you sleep, falling asleep after holding this necklace of yours, you dream of many firsts in your life. The first time you met your companions. The first time you met Professor Harper and Parch. The first time you ever saw an interplanar portal. And the first time you saw Kaelin. First time you held hands. Your first kiss. Your first night together. And you dream about the day you were given that necklace. And the constant warmth it once provided you. That comfort and closeness. And you dream of what might be, what might have been. And as you dream of fears, of solitude, of perishing in battle alone, with so many unanswered questions. Some unseen monster of tooth and claw attacking you, driving you to the ground. You toss and turn in your sleep restlessly, trying to escape. And then four shadowy figures appear and come to your aid, saving you, driving back the monster, and helping you to your feet. Grrrig. In your sugar and booze coma, you dream of symbols and mysteries, of discovering bits of ancient and forgotten secrets, and of making new discoveries, of proving yourself and learning secrets not just of Defect, your friend, but of far more intrinsic value. You dream of learning something new, digging through ruins to uncover something powerful and strange, something forgotten, something you can learn and use and adapt to your own will. You dream of conquering the unknown. And you dream of a fireball falling from the night sky and crashing into a sand dune. Defect. As you are powered down, your consciousness remains fairly alert in this state, and you ponder the questions that you have been wondering lately. You see the images from your memories, Kaerlie falling in battle, being carried in your arms for days, and then being returned to life. Walking away from a battle while your friends were in danger. You feel this spark of rage and frustration that gives you your strength, and you feel it grow. And you feel it call out to other like-minded entities. You see yourself running over wild lands under a full moon, with lupine shapes beside you. You howl, and it is answered by a chorus from your running companions. And then a stronger howl rises from beyond, and you glance in the direction of the noise, and you see a massive, looming silhouette of a wolf. Kaerlie. As you dream, you feel heat and sand surround you. It is bright. It is oppressive. It is not easy. But you somehow feel confident and righteous at the same time. You look around and see not a wasteland devoid of life as your previous desert experience has been, but a thriving biome. Harsh, but thriving. You see cacti of all sorts growing. You see creatures stalking and hunting during the night, flying through the air, sunning themselves on rocks. You even hear the sounds of music and long-distant caravans. You see these birds in the sky, and then you're somehow pushed farther into the sands. The moisture disappears. Life begins to recede, and it becomes an endless sea of sand and heat. Something deep, something dangerous, and something unnatural is in the shifting sea of dunes. Something that leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Or maybe it's just the wine. You all awaken the next day, having had various dreams or thoughts. The morning is yours. What would you like to do?
I want to go see that old man with dementia.
All right. Yeah, Aetis, you get up and you travel over to the appointed house. You get there, and
Well, I would tell everybody first, like, where I'm going, and I'll be back.
okay. Cool.
Yeah. Bye. Hey, Defect.
I made this remote. I want to see if it works.
No.
Great. So Aetis goes off on his little adventure. Aetis, you get to the house, and Kilara's there. She welcomes you in, and she's like, "He's in okay shape this morning. Come on in, Aetis."
Walk in.
Yep. She brings you into a room just off of the main hallway of this entryway. And you see laying on a bed an ancient-looking elven male. I mean, this guy is wrinkled and has long lavender hair and faded blue eyes. I mean, you've never seen a wrinkled elf before, but this guy is so old. His eyes are often a faraway look. Kilara kind of shakes him and calls to him, "Great-grandfather, Felinar, a friend has come to ask you a few questions if you feel up to it." The eyes kind of blink a little bit, and the head turns. "And what friend is this?"
My name's Aetis. It's nice to meet you.
"It is an honor to meet someone who is a friend."
I hope we can be friends. I was just curious. I was playing some music yesterday, and your great-granddaughter knew it. Have you ever been to... It was Fae music.
Yes. I heard Fae music in my youth. Before the breaking. It was beautiful.
Did you ever... She said that you traveled a lot. Did you ever go to the Everwood?
The Everwood? Yes. When I was very, very young. Not even my first century had passed, and
Do you know what happened to it?
the Everwood was gone. I tried to find places again. I was injured in a spell storm, looking for friends from long ago.
Yeah, from what I know, a spellstorm hit my village, but how long ago was that?
I was injured almost 900 years ago. I was looking for, well, an old gnome friend of mine who lived. I'm sorry. Who are you?
My name's Aetis. I'm from the Everwood. We were just talking about it.
Oh. We were oh. I'm sorry.
And then I start speaking in Sylvan. Would it be easier if we spoke in this?
It's all the same to me. I am Belinar Oliestra. You are a friend.
Yes, I'm Aetis. I'm from the Everwood. Have you heard of the village Lycos?
Yes. I went there in my youth.
Do you remember what happened to it with the people that have this mark?
My friend Seren lived in Lycos. She was beautiful. Hair much like yours, actually. And a mark, but on her other cheek.
Do you know what happened? Did anybody escape?
I went to look, to find, but a spell storm came up, and I was injured, my chest torn apart. Barely survived. And he begins like sweating and tossing. Kilara kind of, hush, grandfather, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I don't want to stir up bad memories. I'll go. Thank you so much. And Aetis will just like very visually upset, just like kind of rush out of the house.
Yeah. Almost immediately after you exit, Kilara follows you, and she's like, "It's really okay. Sometimes he has better days. He's very ancient, you see, and."
Yeah, I just I need some time. Thank you so much. That did help a lot.
I am sorry that she couldn't, or I'm sorry that he couldn't give you much more. I can try looking through his old journals and seeing if I find anything about this Lycos.
Yeah.
It's probably in one of his red journals, so I'll start there.
I would appreciate that.
Of course. And she kind of nods and smiles at you and goes back in the house.
Aetis tries to just go walk around everywhere and just try to like clear his head.
Yeah. One of the things that he said to you does kind of click a little bit. The name he mentioned, Saren. That was your grandmother's name.
Oh.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the house, what is everybody else doing? Aetis has just left. Spoot, what do you want to do?
Spoot will go off and try to find somewhere peaceful, quiet, that he can do some meditation and spend some time in prayer. He has, since beginning with Kaerlie's fall, and then since the most recent events, he's become a little more introspective of his journey and his actions. So he's trying to reconnect himself a bit with his deity, especially considering his dream last night. And yeah, he's gonna take some time to do that at the expense of breakfast.
Okay.
You could just eat a good berry later, you'll be fine.
It's true. That's very true.
Good berries, the hungry cure-all. Okay, great.
Really hungry and you just eat a Cliff Bar and then you feel kind of full.
I'm going to be bugging you later for a good berry. Thank you for reminding me.
So, Spoot, you find the same place where you sketched the village previously, kind of on top of a rock set off a little bit. And you are able to kind of have this peaceful connection with everything. And you meditate on stuff for a while. Go ahead, give me a religion check with advantage.
Okay, thank you. As a cleric, it's not my strongest.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Even with advantage.
So with a 9, you have a... It's weird. Your prayers and your meditations have been a little disturbed lately. Like, you've been trying to recenter yourself. This has been the point of you doing this. And in a weird way, you can't get the dream from last night out of your head, and it kind of charges through your meditations a lot this morning. It doesn't affect your ability to cast spells or anything like that. It's just something that is heavily weighing on you this morning for some reason.
Do I feel any sort of relief from the dream, or is it just more things to ponder? I think there's a little both, maybe.
Yeah, you were given a dream. It's up to Spoot how Spoot interprets them.
Okay.
You do know that you've seen the likeness of that human man before in various guises. But more or less, you've seen that individual before in dreams, so.
Did he have a staff?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Even when he was sitting down, he was holding on to it in the dream. So it's kind of like, why would you do that? But
crazy old man.
yeah, it seemed to be his thing.
Would you part an old man from his fucking...
Humans, right?
Yeah. Kaerlie, what would you like to do this morning?
Go back over to that portal thing and look at it, see if it still looks the same as it did last night.
Touch it!
Make an investigation check. Yeah, with a 15, looking at it, it seems unchanged.
Maybe toss a pebble through it?
Sure, you toss a pebble through it. It kind of ripples a little bit where the pebble was.
Does the pebble come out on the other side?
Nope.
Now you pissed off.
That's
the
enough.
It works.
Hey! Somebody comes out rubbing their head. Hey!
Oh god.
Make a perception check for me, Kaerlie.
An angry elephant walks out.
Cool. Really quickly, where you threw the pebble in, you see the ripple, like a little ripple of the pebble, but then you swear you see the entire thing kind of poof, like a little pulse.
Now you've done it.
Cool. I'm gonna walk back away from it.
Mhm.
Let that be.
Yeah, as you back away, the High Enclavist is there,
Oh, good.
having fun.
I'm just endlessly fascinated by this beautiful thing you've created here.
It's really not harmful. If you want,
I
you can
believe
walk through
you.
it.
I'm gonna pass on that one. It's a little early.
Where's Aetis?
It's up to
Aetis will
you.
do it.
No one ever has to
think
walk
maybe-
through it. It's not there for us. It's there for the pulse.
That's fair. I thought I might find some whatever passes for the local morning beverage round here.
Oh, well, yes. There is a selection of teas that you can try at the
That sounds
communal
delightful.
kitchens. Yes. Yeah, I personally enjoy a little bit of ginseng in the morning, but the cafe's right over there. Well, such as it is. It's really just her.
Cafe.
It's really just Yuna's front porch, but you know.
Very good. I promised you and I would stop by and say hello this morning anyway. So.
Oh, good, you've met. She was who I was going to point out to you. She is our highest druidic practitioner, so.
Oh, excellent. Yes, she and I had a brief chat last night. I
Wonderful.
didn't wish to intrude upon her too early this morning and waken her.
Well, given how much she drank last night, I'd be amazed if she's up yet, but
Exactly, which is why I thought I might come and gaze upon your portal and have some tea first.
sounds like a plan. Well, have a good day. And they kind of walk off.
I'm going to investigate that tea.
Okay, great. Yeah. T is... Make an investigation check.
What do they have in their tea here?
On a nat 1, it's poison.
It takes you like 20 minutes, but you find a place that is willing to, or someone who is willing to share their tea with you, and it's perfectly tasty. It's just, it took you a while to find it. Meanwhile, Grrrig and Defect, what are you two up to?
Yeah, Defect. Hey, okay. So, I had a weird dream last night. I dreamt about a fireball and symbols and you. And, okay, I don't know if it was the dessert or the drinks or the what, but hang on. Let me try to draw these symbols. Do I, like, remember anything specific about any of the symbols?
Weirdly, when you dream, you can never actually read or write what's in the dream. You just think you do. So you can't recreate what was in the dream.
Okay.
And that's actually true. Like,
Yeah.
you can't actually read anything in dreams. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't really picture them, but... So, I know we haven't really spent a lot of time on it lately, but I think maybe today, I, like, look at you, like, you've changed lately, and, like, I'm just, you know, do we want to understand it? Oh, and also, I heard this prophecy, and Aetis didn't know anything about it. Did you hear that? Did you know anything about it? And also, yeah, did you have a weird dream? I'm a little worried something landed in the desert, and it was fiery.
Sorry.
Well,
Defect stalls for a moment at this overload of information.
Need to increase your processing power.
Right.
More
Maybe
RAM!
we need to upgrade it. You need more RAM. Maybe that's what it
More RAM!
Just jam a
get
crystal
him
in
an
him.
MPU.
That is
Get an extra
most
processing unit.
interesting, Grrrig. I too had visions while I was in standby mode here. I am feeling restless, and I dreamt of wolves.
Do you think
is
you
all.
dreamt of both because you like have like fur on your back? Is that a thing?
I believe that is the case.
Hmm. Has that ever happened before? Where you like grew a thing?
No, this is the first time.
Hmm.
I am changing, Grrrig.
Is that a
Evolving.
good thing?
I do not know where this journey will take me.
I guess that's fair. Can I take a look at all this stuff, by the way? Like, do you mind if I like take a look?
Of course, Grrrig.
Scamper, scamper, clamber.
Yeah, I'll bend down so like it's easier for Grrrig to.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just gonna like do an inspection, right? Like the things that I've noticed lately, like the pocket popping out. I don't know if that was new or like, and the fur on the back, just like trying to look really closely at all these new things that are happening.
Yeah. Go ahead, make an investigation check.
16.
Cool. It's weird. Defect's body is stone and metal in like all the hard parts, and then all like the muscle movie parts are like a really dense wood material. But these hairs are sprouting through all of that. And it's kind of making like the nape of like a wolf pelt over the back of his shoulders.
Interesting. You like put something in you, or did this like?
Well, this certainly all started with this totem, and I'll show Grrrig the totem.
Yeah, Defect pulls out a little totem that seems to have been crafted from some kind of tooth or something.
Interesting. And this is the one that Aetis made,
This
right?
is-
Like I know where it came from.
Yeah.
Right. This is the dire wolf tooth.
Right.
I picked up, and then Aetis helped craft into a totem.
Did I show it to? I don't think I showed it to anybody but Defect.
That's true. But it's up to Defect whether or not he has since shown it to Grrrig or others.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. No, not up to this point.
Yeah, so Grrrig, you've never seen this thing before, and you don't know where Defect got it.
What's that? What is this thing? Where'd you get this? Wait, is this? Can I recognize it as like a tooth? And it's
Make a nature check.
Okay.
Well, she got bit with one before.
Yeah,
21. Yeah.
with a 21, you definitely know that it is a direwolf tooth. You've been bit with one.
The dire wolf. But then you put it. Who did the carving? And then you put it in you. And then now you. What else could you put in and make you change? Does it happen like on purpose? Did you think like, oh, I'm gonna do this and then it's gonna make me change, or did it just happen? It's so strange. Are you gonna be like super powerful and absorb all the things around you, and then suddenly you're gonna be like able to do like everything?
I hope to become stronger, Grrrig, in order to protect you and the rest of the party.
I mean, thanks. But I guess we'll figure it out.
At this point, also, I want to open up the compartment and pull out the dagger that I've been carrying around too,
Yeah.
with the weird designs on it.
Yeah, so Grrrig, Defect produces from some small pocket in a that he has in his person. It's not very long. It's probably about a 6-inch dagger so it looks really tiny in his hands. But the blade is wide and has like a chiseled tip as opposed to being like a skinny blade into a single point.
Whoa.
And there is an emblem on the dagger as well, like on the hilt.
Awesome. Do I like recognize it? Does it look like, do the symbols look like language or decoration? And obviously, do I
Make a history check.
only an 8?
Okay. So with a 8, it doesn't look like it's a language. It looks more like a logo or something. That's the best you got.
Okay. Have you always had this? Did you find this on our trip?
I've always had this, Grrrig. Before waking up.
Have you ever kept it out of your pocket?
I had no reason to. It's always been inside me.
This is inside you, and then the wolf thing is inside you. That's when you got the wolf. I wonder what this dagger does. I'm scared to take it out, but I want to.
Just pull out.
You're not there.
No, but the chat is getting spicy, let me tell you what.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. I've been busy taking
We
notes.
broke that.
Oh, my God. Nerds.
We're all 12 years old, everybody.
Ugh, children.
Listen, this is what quarantine has reduced us to.
No, this is what quarantine has reduced us to.
All right. So let's take our little 5-minute bio break there, and we'll come back to see what kind of shenanigans you people want to get into, and it'll be great.
All right.
So,
Do I get to announce what I am after?
sorry?
Do I get to reveal the full title of the costume after?
Absolutely.
All right.
All right. So we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging in there, and we'll be back with more Nuuli Forged in 5 minutes. See you then. Hello, everyone. We are back, and it is time for the big reveal. Amber,
Girl.
who are you tonight?
I am Queen Luigi of Arendelle, professor at Hogwarts.
And who dressed you in such spectacular, nerdy fashion?
It was a group effort. My sister-in-law and my two nieces, and actually my brother-in-law, they all picked a piece from their collection of Halloween gear, because I am poorly prepared for Halloween myself.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah. 6-year-old and 7-year-old and 5-year-old.
Fantastic. Well, let's pick back up right where we were. Go ahead. We were chatting with Grrrig and Defect, who were having a little talk about what makes Defect tick and what's inside of Defect and all these other strange Defect things.
Yeah. Kinda wanna see what happens if we keep one of these things out of you, see if the changes are permanent or what the knife actually does to you, but also I don't wanna hurt you. So you wanna
Hold on to the knife, Grrrig. And actually, that's a good question, Jared, Dungeon Master. What would happen if I lose the totem?
You don't know.
Hold on to the totem, Grrrig, and let us see what happens.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna okay. Yes, I do look like Waluigi. Yeah. I did the wrong mustache earlier. Anyway. Okay. Well, I will. Okay. Grrrig is gonna really carefully wrap up the totem and the knife in some nice piece of fabric that I find in the room. Right. I'll tear a blanket if I have to.
Sure.
And put it into the bag of holding. The whole
Okay.
time being super careful, the most uncharacteristically careful you've seen Grrrig.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, you wrap them both up and put them in your little bag of holding that you crafted. And yeah, Defect seems perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. You just yeah. We'll check in each day. Yeah. Also, fireball in the desert. Should we tell other people about that? Do you think it was a real dream? Oh, sorry, I got distracted.
The desert that we were just in. That desert?
Jared, can I tell? Did I recognize?
It did not seem to be the desert you were in was a lot of rocks and barren wasteland. This seemed much more like hot yellowy sand.
Okay. No, I don't think so. But it's a dream. I don't know. We should get out of here either way, right? Yeah.
I agree. I feel our business here is done, and I grow restless.
Yeah. All right. Let's go find everybody and get them to go. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Defect stands up and his eyes go blue and he falls over dead, making an noise. Just kidding. That's a Windows joke. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
That does not happen.
It's a script error. Could not find DLCC file.
Grrrig would
Error
panic. How do you open chest? Open.
Stabbing him like an EpiPen.
Yeah.
Pulls a defibrillator out of the bag.
Yeah, and just to clarify, when he pulled the dagger out of him, it's not like he pulled it out of his shoulder or anything. It was just in a little side pocket that he popped open and pulled out.
His chest goes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Kaerlie, you finish up your tea, and you see Aetis kind of walking around, kind of not really paying attention to anything, with an odd look on his face.
Would you like some tea?
I'm good. Thank you, though.
Everything okay?
I don't know, but I'm ready to leave whenever you guys are.
I'm waiting on the this Uma woman to wake up. I thought I might have a few words with her. I don't think I have time to engage in an extended study with her, but I would be interested to see what she has to say.
Uma
Sober. Yes. Uma the Rosebush. Right?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Una Rosebrush.
Rosebush.
Yuma. I misspelled it earlier.
Yuma.
No, Una,
Sorry.
as in Y-U-N-A.
That's what I said. Booby trap.
Yeah.
Oh, is she a grandson?
Exactly. You can't win with fantasy names. Just go with it.
Yeah, Shuzaxa has been an interesting spell.
It's spelled just as it is pronounced.
Good. That's how I wrote it. I
Obviously.
think.
In Yuan Ti.
And something.
No, that's that. There's a little in there somewhere. Little apostrophe.
Well,
There's one upside down letter, and you don't know which one it is.
well, when you're done, I'll be around here somewhere.
Okay. You want to go poke at the portal?
You guys yelled at me the last time I did that.
Rightfully so.
Fair. I tossed a pebble through it and it vanished. I decided that was the end of my investigation of it.
Well, I hope you didn't hit anything.
Me too.
I don't want to piss anything out from inside of a portal. But I'll be.
Okay.
So, Kaerlie, you leave Aetis to his thoughts and head on over to Rosebrush Cottage to check in. And you do see Una kind of outside watering some plants. Her dwelling is less of a building and seems more like it's an overgrown greenhouse. There's large thorny rose bushes that are kind of all like over the place. And if there is a structure underneath that, it's hard to tell because of all the vines and roots. And like there's a bunch of trees and bushes around. There's all kinds of animals living in it. And she's just kind of yelling at like a squirrel or something. Like, shut up, squirrely. It's way too early in the morning. Oh, God. I knew I should have stopped at 6. She's there. You can see her.
Good morning, ma'am. Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, God. You don't have to yell, dear. Oh.
Elithar recommended this ginseng.
Oh, I never drink tea.
Make her a Bloody Mary.
Here, just have a seat, dearie. Oh, I'll be right back. And she comes out a few minutes later with 2 tankards and puts one in front of you and one in front of herself. You open it and it's crystal clear, pure water.
Cheers.
Indeed. And she like takes a big swig and plops it down. And by the sound of it thunking on the table, you can tell that it's like half gone. And it's not a tiny tankard, it's a big tankard. This lady knows how to drink.
She's a pro.
You also saw her
Yeah.
drink quite heavily last night, so.
Her and I would be such good friends.
Yes,
I believe I
I have
brought her
created this
several
old woman
drinks
just to
last
be your friend, Tanner.
Go away, she's my friend.
No, she's not Aetis' friend, she's Tanner's friend.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So she takes a swig, plops it down. So, what can I do for you today, Kaerlie? It is Kaerlie, right?
It is.
Oh, good.
Just thought
I
I
remembered
would
something at least.
Stop in and yes. Just thought I would stop in and say hello. It seems as though my companions and I are going to move on shortly, so I regret that I won't have very much time to study with you. because it seems like you might have a lot to teach me. But I thought I would at least stop by and see if you had any words of wisdom that you might.
Oh, well. Where are you going?
Back to Red Sand, I believe. We left a member of our party there. That
Well,
Where are we going?
never been to Red Sand. So, well, I would say watch out on the path for people who shouldn't be there and have ill intent.
Thank you. That's a fair thing.
I'm sorry, I've just never been there. I don't have much to say about the village.
That's totally
This is
fair.
really
It's,
the only
it's
civilization
fairly
I do.
remarkable. I was more thinking in the lines of you have this amazing home that you apparently have grown here, and I'm just generally interested in
Yes.
in plants and things, and thought I might just
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, how advanced are you in your studies, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was I was raised to the old faith, and I certainly participated in a number of the rituals before I went out on my own. And now I'm sort of out in the world and am feeling a lack of guidance. So I mean,
Well, I've never been much of one for faith necessarily in terms of a greater deity, so I don't have too much guidance there. I'm much more of a spiritualist myself. I believe in spiritual nature as opposed to a deity, but that's my personal choice and preference. Well, I would say
I just meant in the realm of the met of healing and plants and what you
mhm.
I don't so much need the spiritual guidance. We've got a cleric for that. But
Well, I suppose one thing I could tell you, if you do find yourself if you ever find yourself going through the deserts, and you get injured, look for a green triangular bladed plant, like the stem is a triangle, with a yellow star-shaped flower on it. That is an antiseptic and a coagulant that will stop bleeding. So, the sap will stop bleeding.
That sounds very helpful, actually.
Yes, it tends to grow under the shade of rocks and things. So,
All right.
yes,
Is there pictures of said plants for her to base off of?
no, she's not a Google. She's just she's just an old halfling woman.
Okay, DM. How do I?
It's called it's called a sand spike flower. So just be on the lookout for that.
Cool. Do you have any growing here?
I don't have any growing here, but I do have some dried. Obviously, it doesn't work so much as a coagulant when it's dried, but
Fair.
it still has some anti-inflammatory properties when it's dried.
I was mostly just hoping for a reference to look at it.
Oh, one moment. And she kind of like goes back in and comes out with like it's less of a book and more of like a binder of like stuff she's collected and created over the years. And she kind of rifles through it, and a page blows away, and she's like, "Oh, damn it!" And she makes a bird noise, and a raven swoops down and grabs it and flies it back over to her. "Oh, thanks, Beaky." And she turns a couple more pages and produces an image of what this plant looks like and shows it to you.
Thank you. I will keep my eyes open for that. That's very helpful.
"Oh, no problem at all." And she kind of like stuffs it all, and she gives a little whistle, and a hedgehog like crawls out of the bramble and like sits on the book to keep it from opening.
Steal the hedgehog.
Hedgehogs are spiky.
And
Spells.
I will attempt to offer the hedgehog some of my breakfast crumbs.
The hedgehog will make an animal handling check first, actually. The hedgehog sniffs it.
Oh yeah.
With a natural 20, the hedgehog like starts to like eat the stuff from your hands and then begins to like crawl into your hands. And Yuna's like, "Hey!" And the hedgehog looks up at her and is like, "Oh, right, I'm supposed to be sitting on this thing," and kind of shuffles backwards a little bit and sits back on the thing.
I would like to
It's
point
a
out
very
that's
charming
beautiful.
little creature.
Yeah, I love that you rolled both a natural 20 and a natural 1 at the same time.
Also true.
Yep.
However, when most of our natural 20, natural 1 rolls are in the opposite order.
Yes, I managed to do that in the right order
It's true.
and
It
not
was
get
great.
bitten.
So you finish your little discussion, and unless you have anything else, she'll chat with you for a little while and then wave as you depart.
Nope, that is pretty much it. Just exchanging some lovely pleasantries and things like that.
Yeah. She gives you
Trying
some
to
basic
warn her
pointers
hedgehog.
on like herb lore and that kind of stuff. That will be helpful in like any like herbal medicine checks you do or anything like that. But nothing to significantly alter your abilities at this point in time.
Sorry. Can I pat the hedgehog?
Yep. Pat the hedgehog, and it like its little tongue like darts out and like licks your finger when you leave. You don't know if it's out of affection or out of a
If it's
desire to
chasing
get
me?
the last bit of crumb, but it did it. Great. So Kaerlie goes off. Kaerlie returns to the house with, excuse me, with Grrrig and Defect there. Meanwhile, Spoot, your meditations, you kind of complete them, and it's getting later on in the morning. But you do see Aetis kind of wandering around aimlessly when you kind of get yourself ready to head back to the house.
I believe I have a little rumbly in my tumbly too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, if I can, if it makes sense en route to back to our house, to bump into Aetis, I will do so.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of wandering around, not looking at anything.
You just want me for my good berries.
He seems contemplative.
Good morning, Aetis. Hope I'm not disturbing you.
No. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm mulling over a few things. Had a bit of a dream last night, but just out trying to clear my head. And you?
I'm good. Is that your stomach?
Oh, you heard that. Well, yes. I think now that my
Bear.
Oh, could you? Wow. I would like that a lot, actually.
Alright, well, I mean, do you want to eat breakfast, or do you just, I have berries.
Well, whichever. I'm not really sure where we would find breakfast here.
You were pointed out the communal kitchens the last time you were here, so you know where they are.
Oh,
I think it's brunch hour.
that works for me. If you want to save your good berries, I'm happy to go grab a bite of brunch if you want to join.
Brunch sounds great.
Very good. Should we go
Yeah,
see if the others are up?
I wonder if they have any mimosas.
A Momohu?
Oh, it's a drink from my village.
Oh,
Yes, they have a lot of orange juice in the forest there.
No, it's all alcohol.
Particularly in the desert. There's a
Black.
great deal of citrus growing in the desert.
Yes, brunch is my religion. That's all.
strange.
It's
Have you heard of our Lord and
spelled
Savior Bottomless Brunch?
YMOUSE8. Right. This is a fantasy mimosa. It's a completely different drink. It makes total
Exactly.
sense to me.
Yeah, it's
Kind of like every
pronounced
civilization
mimosa.
has a gin and tonic.
Mimiosa.
Mimosa, yeah. Umlau over the O.
Fish and flick.
Yes. Great. So are you gathering your friends to head over for brunch at the communal
Yeah,
kitchens?
I think so. I'll stop by the little communal house and see what everyone's status is.
Yeah. So Spoot and Aetis return shortly after Kaerlie.
Guys, do you want to have brunch before we leave?
We're leaving? Oh, thank goodness. By the way, there might be a ball of fire that's going to land in the desert. I'm really not sure. Had a weird dream.
In the desert,
I
you
would
say.
stay away from a ball of fire.
Yeah, I think something's going to crack.
Grrrig, why don't
I mean,
you
as
sit next to
places
me?
for fire, the desert's a pretty good one.
That's fair. Why don't you sit next to me at brunch and we'll talk about your dream? How's that?
Okay.
Very good.
Right. Yeah, so you all head over to the communal kitchens, and given the hour, there's still people eating breakfast because a lot of people partied hardied last night. So it's open a little bit later than it normally would be. So you're able to get a full breakfast of there's like a veggie frittata kind of style dish, and not much else, but there's some berry juice and some water, and
Eggs Benedict.
there's eggs. They've
Waffles?
never heard
Okay,
of this
waffles.
Benedict you talk about.
No Benedict, just eggs.
It goes with the mimosas.
No traitors here. Only breakfast.
We have eggs with egg sauce, so you're in
They
luck.
don't have any Benedicts, but they have plenty of Cumberbatches. But you're unsure what those are,
Fun.
so it's a little daunting.
Stay away.
Sir, is there any drink with breakfast?
They have water and some berry juice, and they can get you some meat from last night if you want that.
I will take some meat.
Great. Yeah,
And there's tea.
yeah, there is tea. So yeah, it's much more of like a serve yourself kind of deal, with like people just stoking fires or adding things at some point or another.
Okay, so where are we gonna go? Are we going back to the village? Are we gonna go look for this desert? I'm sure that I will mile a minute explain the desert Spoot, but I'm not doing that. That's lots of words. And
I We're in the desert. We've been in the desert for weeks.
well,
No.
it was a different desert. It was like sand, not like rock.
You're in like arid, plainsy kind of scrubland at the moment. You're not in true desert yet,
Okay.
Sure.
So-
just to clarify.
Are we gonna go back to Red Sands, or are we and like pick up Mies or something, or are we gonna go like to the dragon like we were gonna plan before Kaerlie?
I mean, we could try. I mean, if there's gonna be a fireball in the desert, I don't like that. Those are
But
kind of
maybe,
dramatic.
but maybe we have to be there because like we can use it, or because maybe it's a thing that we fight, and then maybe it'll give us an advantage. I don't know. I felt like there was something about it. Something.
Even like a
I think it's something we
fireball.
want to stay far away from.
I do think that it may be something we want to pay attention to. And I also had some mention in my dream about trouble in the south of here, and I saw a desert in my dream, and it sounded like it could really affect this entire world that we live in. It may be something a little more catastrophic than a mere fireball. I believe the fireball here is maybe a symbol. I can't get over the Waluigi face.
I've stopped looking at the preview. I'm sorry.
So, I don't know what these dreams mean specifically, but it definitely makes me I don't know. It makes me wonder what our next journey should be. There's something big that's going to happen, I think.
I want to go where the action. I've never really had a weird dream, not like this. This is different, right? So like,
This is
we
certainly
should.
very vivid, and we all seem. Well, I don't know who else had a dream, but the fact that we had one on the same night, speaking of the same things, I don't think that's something we should ignore.
Well, maybe before we leave, we should speak to the High Enclavist, because we gave him the map, but maybe we can get a copy of it just so we can try to avoid as much Yuan-Ti as possible if we're going further south.
Sure, I'm happy to sketch a little copy of that.
Certainly a good plan.
I mean, I'm willing to say that you've, if you wanted just to have that, you could have made it in the time it took you to traverse the way. But if you want to go talk to the Enclavist, you can still do that.
I mean, I would imagine, given my history of wanting to sort of map things anyway and sketch out things, that maybe I would have copied some of that.
Yeah.
Is that safe to say?
Yeah, and that map only dealt with the Serpent Lands. It did not deal with the entirety of the Arid Expanse.
Right, just so we can bypass it safely, or at least more safely to get to the south.
Yeah, you can totally get more info out of the Enclavist.
So maybe we should stop by them before we leave, just to see if they have any advice, direction. Just, the more knowledge before we go into a unknown to us land, they might know a little more.
I don't think this guy knows much about anything. I'm not even sure that it's the same desert, right? Because the desert's a big place, and I don't like that.
Is there anything I would know in my studies of the continent that would suggest there are other large deserts?
Make a history check.
Come on, Knowledge Cleric, don't let us down.
Guidance.
He let us down.
So it's not a high DC. It was a 5. So the Arid Waste is the big desert and takes up the southern portion of the western half of the continent. It is the big desert, and purportedly nothing survives there. Even though the arid desert or the Arid Waste is surrounded by ocean, nobody goes there or stops there. Purportedly, the waters around the Arid Waste are almost boiling because it's so hot.
Wow.
But
sounds like a great place to visit.
You've never actually been there, so you don't know?
Well, I'm sure it's not very crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth trying to figure out how our original journey to the ruins that kobolds were spotted at last might connect to these streams and maybe the desert of this Arid Waste.
And don't we get money if we do that?
Yeah, we did have that task. I don't know those.
I kind of forgot about the task.
Yeah.
Well, you died, so.
Well, with the whole dead thing.
I just don't know if this fireball and stuff is necessarily a great omen to the trip.
Oh, it's not, but I think
it'll be fine.
There's definitely something bigger at play here. I would hate to run away from something and only to discover later we could have maybe intervened in, I don't know, preventing something that has some lasting consequences for, well, everyone.
Fair.
Especially considering what things we may have already unleashed on the world in our current journeys.
Shh, don't bring that up again, please.
Oh, it's not just you. I've got a heavy heart over what occurred during our journey in the Yuan-Ti land. So
Oh, the lightning bolt. That thing hurt a lot.
yeah, I'm not so sure we've seen the last of that thing. It also seems to have a bit of a history with some of my people. So
Well, the best thing we can do is keep moving. I have a lot of enemies. All you gotta do is keep moving and they can't find you, right? Let's go.
Yep.
I'm afraid at some point we'll have to face some of these enemies head on, but at least we'll be prepared, hopefully.
Yeah, I guess you're probably.
Well, one thing is clear, I believe. We should leave from here. Perhaps it is wise to return to Red Sands to resupply if necessary and check on our friend Mies. See how he's doing.
Wait, are we going further down south or back to Red Sand?
Well, how far away are we from Red Sand now? A few days' journey?
Or I think.
You're, as
We
far
don't
as you know,
know.
you're about 6 days away from Red Sand.
Oh, it's a little further than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, if Mies is okay, then maybe we continue to our original.
I mean, Jordan said he seemed pretty happy.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he's okay, I'm sure we can just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, so the thing is, like, we were on blindfolds when we got brought here, so like we don't really know whether we brought 6 days in the right direction or whether we're now like 12 days from where, because we're like starting to go to the direction. So maybe we can ask them. Although I guess they probably don't want us to know where we are, but maybe at least they can drop us off where we were before, because like we should probably figure that out.
I mean, we didn't travel that far blindfolded.
Says
I
the
mean,
nat perception of 21.
Yeah.
I mean, I was dead for a good chunk of that, but I'm pretty sure it was a few days.
Do we know where we're going? Do we need to ask them to like get us out of the area?
Perhaps. I'm sure there must be a procedure for removing people without them realizing the location of this place.
Yeah. Okay. Go talk to the Elfie guy. Go. You do it. Aetis, you do it. I don't know. You talk like them. They're kind of like jerks, a little bit like you. Go talk to them.
Wow. Is there something we need to talk about, Greg?
No. We're good. But like you got the thing. You got the human thing and the elf thing, and humans and elves are all.
Sure. I mean, I can go talk to them. That's fine.
You're gonna be the one who knows where we're going. Spoot could go. Spoot knows where we're going. I don't know. Forest. I hate.
All right. Well,
I can join you.
sure. Let's head off then. Let's go speak to him before we leave. Everybody, is everything packed up?
And be.
Yeah, it's easy enough for you all to pack up fairly quickly.
All right. So then let's go talk to the High Enclavist, and then we head out.
All right. Yeah, you all find the High Enclavist. They have kind of positioned themselves with a little table from last night and are kind of sitting at it, kind of just watching the portal, working on something. It's not like they're not writing in a book. They are just kind of watching the portal and kind of making markings in a book of some sort.
Hi.
Ah, hello. How has your morning been?
It's all right. We're just about to head out, but we're just going to check to see how we're headed further down south into the arid wastes. We're just seeing if we could double check with the map to make sure ours is accurate about the Yuan-Ti lands, so we don't cross into them.
Of course. Well, let's go into my office, shall we? And they lead you into their office. And they show you the map that you brought them. It's fairly unchanged. Make whatever notations you feel you must on whatever copy you are making. Unfortunately...
Am I with you?
Sorry?
Sorry, I'm with Aetis for this.
Yeah, I assume you're all there.
Okay. I will copy anything that's relevant.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of map of the arid waste itself. We tend not to go there. We just sort of guard the border.
Right, we just, on our way down, would prefer not to run into any more Yuan-Ti if we can help it.
Well, if you stay on the path that leads to those ruins that you were on your way to before, you should not encounter many, if any. They tend to stick within their own sort of wasteland in the Serpent Lands.
Alright, well, that's fair enough. Is there anything, do you know of deeper in the desert that we should be on the lookout for?
Well, according to you last night, there's a dragon somewhere out there.
Well, yes, but our kobold friend said that there's like giant worms and stuff.
Giant worms? Oh, well.
I think that's what he said. I can't remember. He said there's shit out in the
Giant worms.
Well, there are certainly large creatures out there. There are giant scorpions and exceptionally large wasps and such things. So just be mindful of those. I mean, there's a legend that some very large evil of some sort lays in the heart of the desert somewhere, but I've never heard anybody talk about it, and it's just a legend, and that's about it, really.
giant evil in the desert.
Well, it's part of a prophecy we have in the village. At least that's my interpretation of the prophecy.
What's the prophecy?
The prophecy is very old, and from when the village was first created. When the land grows still and the oceans calm, the storms will rise and ruin will run. From the driest of seabeds will the end times grow. It's not very clear. Oh, do you?
Yeah. I heard it last night from the priestess lady.
Ah, yes, well. She is very, well, Sola is very skeptical of many things that are not directly influenced by Helona, and this prophecy is not one of those things. Although, she tends to respect divine writings, so it's give or take, I suppose. But this prophecy, no one really knows what it is. It's open to interpretation like any prophecy is. I personally tend to believe that the driest of seabeds refers to the arid wastes. Because as far as we know, the arid waste was once at the bottom of the ocean.
Would I know if it was?
You can make a history check. You don't know.
The 19, I don't
With
know.
a 19, yeah, you don't really know.
Damn. Alright, well, I appreciate it, and thank you for the hospitality.
Well, thank you for the services you rendered, and it was our pleasure to host you. You are welcome here in the future if you ever decide to come back. Do you need assistance finding the old path?
If you guys don't mind, that would definitely be very helpful.
Well, I believe we can. I believe we can send Elathar and his squad with you. And then they can pick up where they were when they met you.
Right, well, I greatly appreciate that, because I think we're just about all ready to go.
Ah, well. I wish you pleasant travels, success, and a speedy journey.
Grrrig, you still have all those bags of water, right?
Yep.
Alright. Well, thank you so much.
But
Yes.
before we go, sorry, could I ask the Enclavist if we could resupply some things here?
Of course, there are a few vendors around. They can usually aid you in supplying whatever you might need. There's
I'm
not too much available, but you can certainly see what you can find.
Well, I'm specifically looking for some medicine kits if you think anyone might sell or barter healer's kits.
It is possible that Yuna Rosebrush might be able to fashion one up.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll go see if I can speak to her before we leave.
Very well.
The morning
and
chatting. She's a very nice hedgehog.
Yeah, they wave goodbye as you all exit, and they kind of put stuff back in order as you leave. Do you head down to Yuna's again?
I'll go down. I might ask Kaerlie for directions to the place.
It's right over there. It's a real small village. She's right by the rock wall. It's the giant plant house.
Should be easy enough.
I recommend bringing some crumbs for the hedgehog.
I'm afraid I don't have any crumbs.
You got all kinds of stuff on your shell. You don't have any crumbs? Come on.
What did I have for brunch?
There was a vegetable frittata.
Yeah, I'll have some crumbs stuck to my
Just give
beak.
it. Just give it this good fairy. Here.
Oh, thank you.
Be a very
I'll
dog.
I'll perhaps walk Spoot over to my friend Yuma, and
Yep. Yeah, you
make
get over to
make some
Yuna's.
introductions.
Yeah. Oh, hello again. How are you, dearie? And who's your friend? You're one of the. Obviously, you're one of the others. I don't know who you are though.
I grew up here. You don't recognize me?
Dearie, I have been alive for much longer than you. I wouldn't know if you had been born here.
Well, it would be my pleasure to have known you longer than just right now. But I've come here asking if maybe I could trade or barter with you for some healer's kits.
A healer's kit?
Yeah, if you might have any.
Well, let me take a look. Let me see what I have. Just a moment. She goes inside her crazy little, thorn bush covered house. Comes back a few minutes later. Well, I do have, 2 that I could part with.
That'd be excellent. I will take both of them. How much do I owe you?
5 gold and 5 silver.
Well, that doesn't seem like hardly enough for this. Here.
Well, that's
I'll
each, my dear.
Oh.
So
Well,
if you want them both, it would be 11 gold.
okay. Fair price. 11 gold it is.
Very well. I can buy a lot of bird seed now.
Birds.
And she kind of does a little whistle, and a flock of chickadees comes down and is just like, which is weird because this is not the environment for chickadees, but they're there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I believe we need to be on our way now. It was a pleasure meeting you. Sorry it was so short.
Yeah. It was certainly fun getting to know, getting to know Kaerlie at least, and I'm sure you're all a lot of fun. But come back for the next party.
Take care of yourself, Yuma.
Well, maybe we'll be back this way sometime.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Do take care. It's dangerous out there in the rest of the world.
Oh, we've noticed.
Yeah,
I bet so.
She died.
Well, I believe that's how you all came to here in the first
Yes.
place.
Yeah?
Yes, yep. Fair, true story. All right. Thank you, Yunwa.
Goodbye. And you hear a crash from inside, and she goes, "Oh, the damn goat again!" And she runs off into the house. And you can
I
hear
like
her
her. She's
screaming,
fun.
"Billy! Billy! As you depart.
Very well. Sorry, real quick, out of character. I was totally gonna like tip her extra for the healer's kits when I thought it was a very low price, and then I realized she was overcharging me for them.
Well, you gotta understand, she's in a very remote part of
Oh yeah,
the world,
yeah.
So.
I totally like Spoot was totally prepared to pay any price, but I was like 5 gold, and so I'll give you 10 gold here. Oh, I see.
I mean, a healer's kit costs 5 gold anyway. She only charged you an extra gold.
Oh yeah,
Which, yes, it's a lot of money, but
it's just funny that I was like, oh, I'm about to tip her the biggest. Oh, I see.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Great. So as you approach the end, you find Elithar and his 2 cronies, Hearth and Jorn, are there waiting for you. Elithar nods. I hear you are ready to continue your own journeys, then.
Yeah, we're headed down south to the ruins of the wastes.
Well, very well.
True. Much as we'd like to stay here forever, we have a task.
Well, it's not for everybody, and I certainly understand. I like getting out of here every so often myself.
I mean, I prefer far more trees than here, but it's just me.
Polite thing to say.
I do understand. My great-grandfather often talks about his love of deciduous coniferous trees, but unfortunately none grow here. I hear you spoke with him this morning, actually.
Oh, he's your grandfather.
Yes. Well, my great-grandfather.
Oh, well, he seems like a very nice man.
He is, on his good days. When he doesn't remember everything, it can be a little more trying and difficult. But if anyone was able to do something for him, it would be very nice. But so far, no luck. In a weird way, I think he's just been hoping to die for a very long time.
I mean, he seems quite old.
Oh, he is ancient. My grandfather, my grandparents, and are long dead themselves, but he is still here. And my parents are aged, but not nearly as old.
Well,
My parents are only in their 4th centuries. My grandparents are, well, as I said, dead.
I'm sorry.
It's normal, it happens. It's life.
Well,
I mean, my parents probably have about 200 years left.
unless they have that longevity gene that your great-grandfather has.
Well, unfortunately, his wife did not survive.
Ah.
And neither did his children, so...
What is grandchild?
What was that?
Nothing. His Aetis, his grandchild, says Amber.
Oh.
Not Grrrig.
I think.
Aetis appears fully human, and this dude isn't full-blooded elf, so...
But Sarah,
You know, I'm just letting you know.
Aetis appears fully human, but he's mentioned his Fey ancestry before.
I don't have Fey ancestry.
Just Fey flutes.
Ah,
Grew up near the Feywilds.
okay.
genetics is a funny thing. Come on, dominant genes. Maybe you just look human, but you're actually half elf, and you're.
And
gray
Grrrig
hair.
has invented the field of genetics on Nuuli. So there we are.
Grrrig, I think I read one of your books on pea plants before.
Yes. Great.
Well, shall we head off on that cheery note?
Very well. Let us be off.
Off we go.
Yeah, he leads you out. You are not blindfolded this time. It seems that as you have been announced as friends of the village who can come and go as you wish, you do not need to be blindfolded anymore.
I just, like, as we're going, make a mental note of where this village is.
Sure.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
make a physical note.
Yeah, you can do that.
Can Defect
Put it
walk?
on the map.
Defect okay?
Yeah, how am I feeling so far?
You feel fine.
You see some slow speeds, like some poor Wi-Fi connection or some dial-up.
Yeah, your ping is down. Is low.
Beep, boop, boop.
Fantastic. So, unless you all have something specific you would like to talk to these 3 individuals about, they spend the next 4 days bringing you back to just the point where they met you.
In those 4 days, I want to work on my armor some more.
Sure. Give me
Well, yeah, I can make.
check on
I'll
that.
make the tools again, and then, Boot. Did you say you had a thing?
Yeah, I can become proficient in any set of tools or a skill for 10 minutes.
Cool. Is that one of your channel divinity features?
It is, because I'm a knowledge cleric and I get quirky things like that.
Cool. So, just so you know, like, that means you can work on something for 10 minutes, so you're not going to make too much progress.
You can speed ahead a little bit in short bursts.
Yeah.
I was very close already, so maybe.
I mean, if you want to, yeah, I mean, the armor's almost done. So I will say you can go ahead, make a dexterity plus proficiency check, Spoot. If you spend your 2 channel divinities to see how far you get each night, you can do that.
Okay, so sorry, what checks am I making then?
It's a dexterity check plus your proficiency bonus.
Aha! What is my proficiency bonus?
Well, actually, it's armor smithing, which is more. It's more of a strength thing than a dexterity thing. But it's leather armor, so let's call it intelligence. Let's just go with intelligence.
Okay. None of these are really my strength, so.
We can add +2 to that.
Plus your proficiency.
Plus proficiency.
Honestly, what is my proficiency?
It's 2.
It's in a square next to your charisma.
Well, it's also not a save that you're rolling. It's a it's just a check. So
it's just an intelligence
yeah. So
check,
just hit the dexterity button, and then you add 2 because of your proficiency bonus.
Sorry, dexterity or intelligence?
Intelligence. Sorry, that was my mistake.
I think it would be the same thing though, because his intelligence is only +1 and clerics don't have proficiency in it.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, so the 17 would stand. Plus 2 would be a 19. So yeah, on the first night, you are able to spend 20 minutes blazing through the last few bits of this armor. And it is seemingly cobbled together from the 3 or 4 hyena-type people. It is not pleasing, and it's very patchwork, but it appears to be functional studded leather armor.
There is a little bit of scroll work. I made a little pretty.
Yeah, there's a little pretty to it, but the armor itself is like mismatched pieces, so there's like, or mismatched pieces, so there's big like stitches in a few places and like some extra rivets in others.
Well, I can hide it under my cloth outerwear.
Sure, yeah, you can do that.
Except I will have the Grrrig emblem emblazoned.
Yeah.
We can cut a hole out of your
Grrrig,
cloth
my shirt.
outerwear.
it's just like Grrrig screaming with their tools.
No, it's actually a very tasteful.
It's a
scroll
jeweler's
G.
hammer on fire.
Okay.
Sorry.
Beautiful and tasteful, and it's this little scroll work G.
Very nice. Very cool, very cool, very cool.
So I
I
have
want to read my spell book. What?
What are you doing?
I
Ready?
want to keep reading that Kobold Draconic spellbook with the Defect.
Great. Go ahead, make an Arcana check for me.
7.
Great. So you've spent enough time with it now that you're able to figure out what is in this spell book. So it contains 4 spells in the spell book. It contains the spells Burning Hands, Magic Missile, Shield, and Unseen Servant.
Cool.
One of those is my favorite.
Unseen Servant.
Unseen Servant. I was like,
No, Burning Hands.
Yeah,
No?
I like
Okay.
Burning Hands too.
Unseen Servant just seems so, you can do weird things with it. Cool. So, with that 7, do I think that I could, like, read them from this book almost like a scroll and use them? Or is this just, like, because the wizard had
no,
to write
but
it down?
I have to check on how artificers like do spells, because if you were a wizard, you could just copy it into your own spell book.
Right.
Um,
That's not really how, like,
yeah, that's not how artificers do these things.
yeah, there's not the writing,
Yeah.
tinkering, and figuring out and click.
I mean, I think you have access to all these spells as an artificer.
Yeah, I don't think magic missile.
Oh, well. I mean, you cannot you can't use this spell as you can't use this book as a spell scroll, but it gives you information on the spells, if nothing else. So learning those spells in the future may be easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could maybe sell the book
Take one
Okay.
level wizard.
or take a level in wizard. Just
Alright,
to get
alright.
these
Duly
4
noted.
spells.
You know, they're 4 very good spells.
Or any future
Magic.
spells.
Magic missile is
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I will hang on to this. Did it lead to me learning any more draconic, like, or did he just like translate and I figured out what the spells were
Well,
because of my art?
it's one of those things where like the runes are draconic, but it's not. It's arcane magic. It's not like, you know, and it was written in code, so it's a little weird. So you were able to decipher it enough to figure out what it actually was. The actual draconic words are still a little. It's still going to take you a little bit more time to learn a full language.
Yeah, I just
But
I make
yeah,
this up?
you've made headway.
well. I'm glad we got some use out of that skill, but or that thing.
Yeah. So armor, studded armor completed, spellbook identified. After 4 days, you make it to the path where you were ambushed by those hyena creatures.
Look, this is the last place I saw before I was dead.
Yeah, it definitely looks familiar to you.
Yeah, you died right there. Is there still blood?
Make a perception check.
13.
No, it seems like it's been cleared away.
I mean, it's
Gosh.
been some time.
That's been a
Yeah,
while.
I know. I just
Well, hopefully we don't die on this road again.
Yeah, those of you who were conscious also know that the scout brigade buried the remains of the hyena creatures. So
I don't remember that.
no, you don't. You was dead at the time. I was dead at the time.
I was on the moon with Steve.
With Steve. Thank you, Eddie. But yeah, you arrive at this location. Elithar shakes each of your hands if you're willing and bids you a successful and fruitful journey.
Thank you, Elithar, for everything.
Of course. I am glad that we were able to help you.
Watch
Not
out
as
for
glad
creepy
as
things
I
coming
am.
out of the portal.
The High Enclavist is there, and there are their guards, so I'm sure they'll be fine.
Eh.
Well, good luck on your travels.
Thank you. Travel safely. And he kind of nods, and he, Hearth, and Jorn kind of walk off into the scrub brush, into that big bush area, and disappear fairly quickly.
Well, shall we go, guys?
We shall.
Yep.
All right.
Put on your sunscreen.
Yeah.
Pass
Well, I
around
still
the
have-
pot of sun salve that I've been carrying.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still have my sombrero?
Yeah, you still have your sombrero. Great. So you all begin your trek southwards towards the Threll ruins and whatever lies in wait there. A band of kobolds, a dragon, or something else unrelated, or who knows. You march off towards that way. The sun is about midday at this point. And as you walk south towards the horizon, you can see as you crest over a hill, just beyond the way, probably another day or so, you see the beginnings of a vast desert. And that's where we'll end tonight's session, everybody.
Woo!
Woo, indeed.
Nope.
Uh,
Even.
Not dead, not through a portal, back on track.
indeed.
Yeah, no combat.
Yeah.
Look at
Nobody's
that- look
dead.
at
Nobody
us.
even got hurt. Look
Yeah.
at us.
Well, we don't know if Defect's hurt yet.
All right, you might have.
I
hurt
may have
him, but
his soul.
You may have removed his soul, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Defect's actually a soul knife.
I hope not.
His consciousness stems from the knife. Great. Well,
knife.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Let's go around with some hello, goodbyes, and whatever. Let's start up with Defect.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Catch you.
Okay, great. Grrrig.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck with your own actual Halloweens. And stay safe out there. And yeah, Story Dice Friend Time just released our session 7, so
Ooh.
go find that. Pretty funny. Also,
Yes.
Mid-Level Adventurers is getting good too. If you need to know how to stay alive, and I don't know, I think they talked about character death. I haven't listened yet. Don't spoil it for me. Shush.
All right. Kaerlie. Kaerlie.
Hello and goodbye. Thanks all.
And Aetis.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
And Spoot.
Thanks for watching. I believe all the plugs have been made. But yeah, have a great night. Have a happy Halloween in very safe, socially distanced ways.
Yeah. I am Jared. I've been your Dungeon Master this evening. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Kiwi Sanctuary for following us this evening. Great to see you, Kiwi. And everyone, please be safe out there. Have a great week. Come back and visit us again. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Nuuli Forged. And please, if you're in the United States, go out and vote.
That's important.
If you haven't voted early, if you haven't sent in an absentee ballot, please make sure that you go vote in the next week with early voting and election day. It's very important. So thank you all very much. We're going to do a nice little raid here on the DAT and the DAT network, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao.
Bye.